Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 162 of Lonely Gods. I'm your host, David, and I'm joined here, as always, by Kate.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Kate.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Hello, Johnny. I'm okay. I just woke up. I had a dream that there were people stealing dreams.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, the Borg were in it too somehow.
I got sent a great T-shirt image that I wasn't going to buy, but was adorable. That was a Borgie. It was a Borgified corgi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
That is cute. Well, Dave. So, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Do we have any Doctor Who news?
Yes, sort of. So apparently we have. Remember we talked about last week, or I guess the week before, how each of the monthly series doctors are going to be having their own producer now.
Yes.
Well, apparently the new producer for Sylvester McCoy is going to be Nick Briggs. And I don't know.
Well, doesn't Nick Briggs produce like everything? Anyway?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, as far as like Seven specifically, I'm not really sure if he's like the best fit, because I mean, he tends to like to do like outright, action stories, lots of Daleks and explosions and all that stuff. But I mean, McCoy at his best is a very like kind of a darker and more manipulative doctor. I'm not sure how good of a fit Nick will be, but whatever, I guess.
Well, I'll have to trust your judgment, not knowing Seventh Doctor stuff.
Not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
The other thing that's not really news to anybody but me is I finished Series 7 of the new series since we last spoke.
So you got to the Regenerations and the Christmas special.
Yes.
You're at the point now where it's the 20 or the 50th anniversary special and then the Christmas special, right?
Yeah. The 50th is the next thing for us.
Oh, that was good. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, we got to the reveal of John Hurt and all that. So, honestly, I felt like the second half of season 7 was kind of a weird duck, because individually the episodes I felt were stronger than the first half with the Pawns.
Yeah.
But the character of Clara is really undercooked. Like, I like the Pawns better as characters, but Clara got better episodes.
Doesn't that season end with the finale is the episode about her being the constant or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, like that was way too fast. Like they did that like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
that was a really cool idea that they just like rammed through.
Yeah. As much as I love seeing footage of the classic Doctors, it's like part of the issue is that they introduced Clara. Well, I guess in Asylum of the Daleks, but she's really like a running presence from the Snowmen onward, and like they introduce her with this mystery, but then like they don't really do anything with it. They just kind of keep reminding you that there is a mystery. They don't really give you any clues that the Doctor unravels over time or anything. It's just like in the Christmas special, it's like there is a mystery, and then in the finale, it's like here is what the mystery was. It's not like there's not like an unfolding process.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Because like I like the explanation. Like it's a cool idea where the whole thing where the timeline's destabilized and she goes into it to help stabilize it, and it shoots her through all the throughout the Doctor's entire timeline.
Yeah. No, that's fine, but
yeah,
it's fine as a
building.
resolution. But it's like there's no.
It's here's a question, and then 10 episodes of unrelated stuff happens, and here's the answer. And it's basically like, wow, great.
So
it's like if you saw Bad Wolf in the first episode, and then they didn't talk about it until the finale again.
Yeah, other than every episode being like, "Hey, remember Bad Wolf?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was a weird way of doing it. And the problem with it is that Clara's characterization basically had to be put on hold. from the minute the 21st century version was introduced to the end, like, you couldn't develop her or tell us anything about her because it would ruin the mystery. But at the same time, you couldn't develop her because it would ruin the mystery, and that's a problem because it means that she kind of stands around doing whatever the script tells her to.
Guess what?
What?
That's her issue the entire run.
Oh, good. So individually,
Claire is played by a great actress and given pretty much nothing.
well, that's good. That's always good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the history of Doctor Who. Classic and new series. So individually, I would say, like, I guess the last one we talked about was The Bells of St. John, which was like the season second half premiere. So since then, we watched, what is it, Rings of Akaton, which I thought was actually pretty good. There was a lot of singing in it and an evil pumpkin planet, but I liked it anyway.
Was that the one with the candle things or the lights or whatever?
That was the one with the leaf that saved the day.
Was it? It was in space, right? Like
Yeah.
Like crazy space station.
Yes.
I remember that one.
There was Cold War, which I thought was quite good. It's nice to see the Ice Warriors again.
The Ice Warrior submarine story?
Yeah, I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. That one was not well received and kind of sucks.
Well, I enjoyed it. Also, Hyde. I also enjoyed that.
Was that the doll one?
It was the Ghost Story one. With the pocket universe.
Yeah, with the little kid in the bed?
No, that's Night Terrors. No, Hyde is the one with, like, the ghost hunters from the 70s, and there's, like, the pocket dimension with their future daughter and the creepy
I did really like that one.
Let's see. Journey to the Center of the TARDIS was hot fucking garbage.
I like TARDIS episodes, but it's not a good one.
That one was awful, and I kind of was laughing at the fact that, like, basically it's like you've got these three black men who are trying to steal everything that's not fucking bolted down from the TARDIS.
Yes.
Let's see, what else? The Crimson Horror. The Crimson Horror was like half a good episode, and then it just kind of progressively got more and more like, what?
Which one's that?
It's the one where the in the Victorian ones with the weirdo gang and the people are turning up dead and red.
I don't really remember.
And they were trying to build a rocket ship or something. It started out an interesting mystery, and then it was like, oh, this is stupid.
I've seen all of these stories once and haven't thought about them since.
All right. Then there was Nightmare in Silver, which was the Neil Gaiman Cyberman Carnival episode. I fucking hated it.
I thought it was okay.
It was awful. I wanted to kill myself through the whole thing. It was so fucking stupid. And they brought the annoying kids that Clara was looking after for no reason. It was like the lamest blackmail ever, because they're just like, we know you're a time traveler. We'll tell Dad. And it's like, unless you bring us with you. And she's like, okay. The response is, okay, go ahead, tell your dad. Enjoy your stay in the mental ward. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what? Both of Neil Gaiman's stories have sucked shit. This one and The Doctor's Wife are both awful.
I love The Doctor's Wife. So you're the one in crazy. You're one in Crazy Town for that one.
I don't care. And anyway, The Name of the Doctor, despite like not having any proper lead up, was good. I liked it.
That's the one. That's the one with the giant TARDIS, right?
Yes, it's got like the giant TARDIS tombstone.
That episode's great. Yeah,
that's
the
cool.
TARDIS is dying, and its dimensional stabilizers fail, so it's no longer bigger on the inside as it is on the outside. It's just as big on the outside, so it's huge.
Yeah. And then, like, okay, so the John Hurt reveal, like, I'm still... Okay, look, I'm not going to say no to John Hurt, because it's John Hurt.
John Hurt.
Yeah, but at the same time, I still kind of not sold on the idea of a secret doctor that we never heard of. I think that was kind of an unnecessary invention, and there's absolutely no reason why Paul McGann couldn't have done the Time War stuff.
I don't know. I like the idea of having a different doctor for the Time War.
I mean, to me, like, not counting Big Finish, you only see Paul McGann once. And I like the idea that this doctor that we don't really know was the one that had basically set the course for the rest of the series. And like I said, I mean, we know so little of the Eighth Doctor's life, there's no reason that he couldn't do it.
There's also no reason it couldn't have been the Ninth Doctor, since we only get a season of him.
Well, I mean,
Besides the fact
there
that
kind of
Chris
is, because like in Rose, like he's checking himself out in the mirror. He seems like he's clearly newly regenerated. He's he's like, oh, these ears,
Oh yeah, that is true. I
So
don't know.
for up until the whole John Hurt thing, in my head it was always like, 8 had recently ended the Time War and regenerated into 9, and then you go to Rose, and I don't know. I don't hate the idea. I guess I just don't think it's necessary, and I feel like it's Stephen Moffat's, fixation on having a clever twist for the sake of it.
To be fair, it's like probably the only way we get actual stuff with the Time War, but because they cast John Hurt, we probably won't anyway.
I mean, I guess I do have the first of his box sets with Big Finish, and I am curious to try it because I mean, if
Well, I mean, outside of Big Finish, like Big Finish is always an option, but if you wanted it on TV,
well, sure,
they put McGann in that special, but they're not going to bring him like fully. They haven't brought any of the Doctors back for the modern series besides like you'll see in the 50th anniversary special where you see all of them, but it's it's not the same.
Well, I mean, they could have brought McGann back if they wanted to. Like that little mini episode was really well received.
It's good. Did you watch it? Right?
I have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
knew it would spoil, but like I couldn't resist Paul McGann. So yeah, it's we'll see how it goes. But the thing is like, if the War Doctor had done such bad things that he was like disavowed by the future Doctors, I want it to be bad. I want it to be a harsh choice and a harsh decision. I mean, if he just turns out to be another Doctor who kind of growls a bit, like I don't think that's enough, because I mean, like William Hartnell tried to fucking kill people with rocks and shit. Like,
Yeah, I understand, but I mean,
so that's why I'm curious about his Big Finish sets, where it's like, what did you do that was actually so awful?
I could also just see it as it not being awful, but just like it's like compartmentalization. Like, do you really want Paul McGann to go to war? Do you want the Eighth Doctor to be the one that went to war? Or do you have this other one to deal with that? Like,
I kind of want Paul McGann to be the one that went to war, because I mean,
I love Paul McGann so much. Like,
well, I love him so much, yeah. And like he starts out very kind of a whimsical Doctor and a very adventurous Doctor, but like he just gets progressively darker and darker and darker, like with the Charlie stuff, and then Zagreus and the Divergent stuff, and then like future story after that, like things just get worse for the guy. So leading into the Time War wouldn't really be all that much of a stretch.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I can see it both ways.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll try and keep an open mind. I just didn't think it was necessary, because it's not like there's a whole bunch of Eighth Doctor canon that you're going to conflict with. All you have to do is say, this is after everything Big Finish does. Easy.
They've done that with Matt Smith, where he jumps like 100 years in age.
Oh yeah, which Moffat did deliberately for Big Finish's benefit.
Oh really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Does Matt Smith do a lot of Big Finish stuff?
He hasn't been back yet. No. Oh. The only 11th Doctor stories we've had from Big Finish basically are like the Churchill Companion Chronicle things, okay, which are on sale right now. But I'm poor, so. Anyway, are you ready to talk about Mawdryn Undead at last?
I believe so. Yes, let's okay. Talk about Mawdryn Undead. So this week's story, TV 4-part story, introduces us to a new companion and sees the return of a classic companion and a classic enemy. That being the Brigadier comes back for his, I believe, final appearance, right?
Nope, on TV? He's back one more.
Oh, okay, one more. We get one. Is it with 5 or is it going to be with 6?
It's with 7 actually.
Oh, cool. And the Black Guardian returns in a very strange story that Kate and I both enjoyed, but oh man, is it fucking weird. And it's so this episode starts, the story starts in the weirdest place where I was just kind of almost like staring at the TV slack-jawed because I didn't know what the fuck was happening, because it just opens with some schoolboys in the dumbest hats ever.
Yeah, that's, well, I mean, it's Britain, so.
Yes, yes, dumb uniforms, being rowdy, and two of them decide to steal the Brigadier's car. So and the Brigadier shows up, and it takes a moment for them to address him by name, and I'm like, that's the Brigadier, right? Like he looks a bit older, he shaved the mustache, but I recognize that voice anywhere, and that's the Brigadier.
Mm-hmm.
And so they steal his antique car and crash it. Of course, the idea man behind this was a ginger named Turlo.
A ginger.
He's a ginger.
He is a ginger.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we respect his life choice to be a ginger.
It's not a life choice. It's just who he is.
He's born that way.
Yeah. So, also, it turns out Turlo is an alien.
Yeah, of some kind.
Weird.
We don't know his as of yet. We don't know like his origin and backstory. But
which is a little bit problematic in the story, because one of my issues with this, Turlo knows all this advanced science time shit, and it's like, what? Why? I know he's an alien. You keep saying he's an alien, but like,
yeah, he's been on Earth and he wants to go home.
Yeah,
so,
but how long has he been on Earth? Like,
well, you know what? It's like Clara. It's a mystery. All will be revealed.
It's just odd.
Yeah.
But the Black Guardian seizes upon Turlo and tries to get him. He promises him he'll take him off Earth if he destroys a bad man named the Doctor.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. Also, there's, I guess, zombies technically.
Yes.
Because there's undead people. There's this race called the Mawdryn.
Well, there's a guy called Mawdryn.
Oh, it's just one guy, but
there's 8 of them, but the guy that we talked to, his name is Mawdryn.
Okay, it's Mawdryn. But it's a group from this race of beings that wanted to become Time Lords.
Yes, so they stole some shit from Gallifrey, much like the trio of black dudes from Journey at the Center of the TARDIS, who's not at all racist. So they tried to use basically like regeneration technology to like extend their lives, and they did make themselves immortal, but they didn't make themselves like forever youthful. Like, so they've been just like degenerating and like decaying and gross for
well, they've
ever.
Been caught. Yeah, they were caught in the regeneration process, so it doesn't complete, but it doesn't kill them. So they're just
kind of undead and gross.
Yeah, the tops of their skulls are missing, and they've got like weird brain goo coming out the top.
Yeah, you know,
it's their costumes are both their costumes are both kind of cool and really fucking stupid looking. Like, it's this weird blend. Because I like how monstrous and like decrepit they look, but then you look at their outfit, it's like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah, I thought like the makeup job was pretty good.
Yeah, but the outfits are stupid.
The choice of clothing, I don't understand the idea of the like that space clothes have to be completely weird and ridiculous, because in the future and in outer space, everyone will wear stupid things.
Did the Black Guardian always have that stupid little tiny top hat on the top of his head? Did I just never notice that?
I don't think so. The
Black Guardian looks fucking weird in this story too.
It's the same actor as before.
Yeah, but he's wearing this, like, because that's the opening.
A lot of people say it looks like a dead bird on his head. I'm not really sure about that, but
the British schoolboys with their dumb hats, and then the Black Guardian with his dumb outfit. And when he first starts talking to Turlo, he's on a green screen with this crazy psychedelic pattern in the background.
Yeah, that's replaced with the CG on the DVD if you so choose. They take it from like the MTV checker pattern to more of like a vortex kind of effect.
I liked it because just that scene, I was like, this is where all the criticisms of Doctor Who I've always heard about how dumb and cheesy it looks. Like, just this image is perfect. A perfect exemplification of how out of context things dumb things can look dumb.
Yeah, in an otherwise, pretty interesting and important scene, we've got God knows what going on in the background.
Yeah. So also the TARDIS crew gets split up across 2 different timelines slowly, like it's not at first.
Yeah, so the alien undead ship is like in like time orbit around the school.
They're drifting through. Oh no, yeah, they.
And so anyway, like the TARDIS kind of gets caught there because Tegan has had enough of snakes and whatever. So she's like, I want to go to Earth for a vacation. So they try to go there, but then they get caught and the TARDIS materializes on the ship. And then like Tegan and Nyssa take the TARDIS down to the school to find out what the fuck. And the Doctor takes a transmat capsule down to find out what the fuck. But something goes wrong where Nyssa and Tegan end up in 77 and the Doctor ends up in 83.
Yes, exactly.
With Turlough and the mustacheless Brigadier. And then Nyssa and Tegan end up with the mustached Brigadier from the Younger Times.
I have to say, they did a fantastic job with the makeup on Nicholas Courtney to make him look old. Like that 6-year time difference, like you can see it.
Well, no, he did look older by then. It's the younger that was the makeup job.
That's what I mean. No, but you can see that there's a difference. They did a great job having that split and not make look, like old man makeup or young man makeup or whatever.
Yeah, they make him both very distinct and like just the way that the younger one carries himself is much more reminiscent of Unit.
Just by their gait, they almost look like the older one looks like he's gained some weight, which they're the same person, literally.
Yeah.
Like it's
I think it's more that the time out of the military has started to relax him a little bit.
Yeah, he's getting a little soft.
Yeah,
around the middle.
Yeah, well,
we haven't had the Brigadier around in a long time, and it's really nice.
The last time was Terror of the Zygons in season 13, so it's been 7 seasons with no Brig.
Yeah,
which is unacceptable.
So we also find out that the older Brigadier does not remember the Doctor
at all. Yes, not just like, oh, you've regenerated, are you him? It's like, what's the TARDIS?
Yeah. And
there's been some sort of traumatic event that basically put a mental block on him that the Doctor manages to kind of break down.
By asking about, how's Joe Grant? How's Liz Shaw?
Apparently Benson is a car salesman now.
Yes. But we didn't talk about Yates. We don't talk about Yates.
No, well, I mean, he is a traitor, so.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck that guy. So, but you get a nice little sepia montage of the Brigadier and the Doctors.
And I forgot the Brigadier was in 3 Doctors because I was like, "What's the first Doctor doing there?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, he met 3 of them.
He met him on the TV screen.
Yeah, because William Hartnell was old.
Yes, he was. I mean, he was old on Doctor Who.
Yeah, he was. So but anyway, it's a nice little for the 20th anniversary season. It's a nice little thing of Unit's kind of greatest hits.
So I knew you'd love this episode, this story.
Yeah, because there's continuity.
Because it wasn't lore, but it was all just continuity. They're mentioning previous companions and all like referentially. Mm-hmm. Or reverentially, I mean, like it was a really well written episode in that regard.
Yes, yeah. So one of the other things that I really liked was the way that the Doctor questioning the present Brigadier would kind of link your cuts to the past Brigadier with Nyssa and Tegan, because that's one of the things where he's like, you know, oh, how's Sarah, how's whatever. So then when he regains his memories a little bit, and the doctor mentions Tegan, he's like, oh yeah, I know Tegan. He's like,
Yeah.
what? No, you don't.
Yes, which is great. And then we see, like, in the immediately in the next scene, we see the young Brigadier meeting Tegan.
Yeah. So it's like it's almost like when the doctor is questioning him. I know it's not real time, but it almost feels like it. Where as the doctor is kind of questioning him, you're seeing the past scenes like that are, you know.
Is Nissa in a new outfit this story too?
Yes, she is. She ditched her ridiculous awful outfit from Snake
Yeah,
Dance
this was much better.
Yes, much better. I mean, she's her eyeshadow is kind of whorish, but other than that,
I can't remember what she says, but like the doctor and Tegan are talking, and then Nissa shows up in the doorway and like basically says like, "Hello, it's nice to see me," and it's like, "Oh, you've changed again." Like the way she announces her present, it's like, "Okay, I see you've changed." Like that's what it felt like. Was look at we've redressed her again.
I think it was because like Snake Dance, when she shows up, she's like, "Oh, doctor, what do you notice anything different? Look at my outfit." And he's like busy like flicking switches and dancing around the console, just ignoring her. She's like, getting more and more like, so.
So the other part of the plot we need to mention is that when the crew splits up, a figure appears in the TARDIS, or right outside the TARDIS, who says he's the doctor.
He's a crispy boy.
It is Mawdryn. Yeah, he's all burned. And then as the dimensional field inside the TARDIS starts stabilizing him, he turns into what the rest of this group looks like, which are picture like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror, but with like goo coming out of the top of his head and like wispier hair, and then like a more ridiculous, stupid outfit.
He's like a Kappa that didn't save for his retirement, basically.
Yeah, well, and instead of just having the
water, it's his pulsating, gross brain.
Yes.
So he tries to be like, I'm the doctor, I've regenerated because I was a crispy boy. And Nissa is kind of like, okay. And Tegan's like, I don't know about that. And the Brigadier's like, me if I know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, I've seen regeneration before, so I don't, like, maybe. And that's one of the things I really missed about the Brigadier is his dynamic with the paranormal or the supernatural things from outer space. Like, it's not fear, it's not hate, it's not, you know, wonder. It's like, oh, fuck, what now? Like, and I love that about him.
He's trying to run a top secret multinational governmental organization to peacekeep in the world, and he has to deal with all this alien shit.
Yeah, exactly. I just like, I don't know any other companions except maybe Tegan to a certain extent that reacts to all this shit with just annoyance. Like,
so I mean, I guess this is why I think this episode's so weird. Is we have an A plot and we have a B plot, which is a little unusual for the show in the sense like there's like the Black Guardian stuff and the Mawdryn stuff aren't really related at all. They're both just happening at the same time.
No, and I mean, do bear in mind this is part one of a trilogy with the Black Guardian, so this is kind of setting things in motion for later. So it's yeah, but so basically, yeah, they try to Mawdryn tries to convince everybody that he's the doctor, and they need to go to the ship because he stole Tom Baker's coat and needs to go to the laboratory to fix his exposed brain. And the doctor and later Brig and Turlo all end up there too, because they're looking for how to not be fucked. And so
this travel capsule thing has really fucking cool but weird set design.
Yeah, it looks like a theater.
It looks like a theater.
Like both the ship and the capsule look like a fancy theater.
Or like the Resident Evil mansion before you get into all the secret lab stuff.
Yeah.
Like it looks like this proper like statesman kind of mansion with like shit up on the walls. It's very well decorated. It doesn't look like a spaceship, but I like this. Like,
no, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's
yeah, no, I liked it too.
It's a good set. So, but anyway, so the two groups and the two brigs both end up there at the same time, and it turns out, and the two brigs are kind of wandering the halls and just missing each other.
You're skipping a major plot. So, Mawdryn and his people are caught in this constant state of dying, like not dying,
but the thing is they want to be free from it, and they don't want to like break free of their curse. They just want to die.
Yeah.
Live anymore. They want to die. They've been in agony for millennia. So they want the Doctor to and this is where we get the first explanation that he has 13 regenerations. Or 13
No, I'm pretty sure they mentioned it before. I think Deadly Assassin is the first time that we talked about the limit of 12. I think that was more in regards to the Master, but same difference. But so anyway, yeah, you get 12 regenerations. The Doctor's already regenerated 4 times. There's 8 of them that he would have to sacrifice a regeneration to. So he would basically
people could die.
Yeah, and so, but the problem is that he would be in his last body. So yeah, he says no, and he tries to leave.
And I mean, and even it being the Doctor, I totally understand, because like, why would you sacrifice that for these people to fix these people's mistake? Like,
yeah, there's kind of this air of like, well, I mean, you did the crime, so
yeah.
So, but the like, problem is like the TARDIS is trapped in the warp bubble or whatever. So when he tries to leave, like if he goes forward, the Doctor or Nyssa and Tegan have been infected with it, so like they age horribly rapidly, which is super gross. And if he goes backwards, they turn into children,
which was great. I really liked that scene.
So that's no good. So basically, he has to come and figure out like how to fix them. So he agrees to sacrifice himself. And they get everything rigged up.
Oh, and we didn't mention that. Yeah, the entire time they're trying to keep the 2 versions of the Brig apart because you
can't meet yourself.
We don't want a Back to the Future 2 situation on our hands.
No, so, but unfortunately, at the right moment when the machine is going to suck the regenerations out of the Doctor, the 2 Brigs do enter the room and meet and touch, and the discharge of energy is what made the younger Brig lose his memory, and it also, the energy was like shunted into the machine and managed to kill everyone, which in this case is a good thing.
Yeah.
So
that was the machine's purpose this time.
So there you go. And then everyone goes home, and Turlough continues to be aboard the TARDIS as a double agent.
I can't tell if I like Turlough or not.
I really like Turlough.
I think I like him. It's just the Black Guardian stuff's been weird, and it's. He didn't know the Doctor. He was being misled that he was evil, and now, of course, he knows he's not. But I think I like him too. He's too many.
Well, yeah, to an extent. But I mean, the thing with Turlough is that because he's compromised in a way that no other companion really has been, he presents an interesting dynamic where he's, a potentially dangerous person. Lurking around the ship.
The Doctor never discovers the Black Guardian portion of the story.
No, he doesn't. And so, Turlough's various attempts to kill him or sabotage him also kind of go unnoticed.
But the crystal the Black Guardian was using to blackmail Turlough with is cracked by the end of the story, too.
Well, to communicate with him. So Turlough temporarily thinks he's free. But, as this is a trilogy and this is only part 1, we're probably not going to be a problem again. But yeah, no, I like Turlough. I think he's Mark Strickson is a good actor, and he's got a lot of personality. I like that he's got a bit of a shady streak and a bit of a mean streak to him, and I like the uncertainty of whether or not he'll end up being a bad boy.
Me too.
And it's interesting because it's like you'd have to wonder, like, does the Doctor know what's up? Probably not. But at the same time, it's like when Turlough, for a 1980s schoolboy, when Turlough is like, "Oh, you're going to do this so we can undo the warp field," the Doctor kind of just looks at him and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So
that was the other, one of the things I was like, how are they having this conversation? Like, I kept having to remind myself that Turlough is an alien because I feel like someone should be pointing something out.
Yeah, they don't really underline the fact that he's not of this world. They don't come out and say like Turlough is an alien. He kind of says like, I want to go home. And he knows all of these things and he wants to go back to his people. So, I mean, it's all very much, obvious, but at the same time, they don't have a big, plainly stated explanation. So,
yeah.
So that's okay. But I like juggling the two time zones. I like the fact that Mawdryn as a villain is not. He's like, I don't want to take over the world. He's not like somebody who wants to murder people. He just kind of wants to die, and he's not particularly like violent either. Like he doesn't attack people. He doesn't murder anybody. Like he's not a villain per se.
No,
so,
we don't. He's not the antagonist. He's the. They're like technically for the justification for this story itself. There really isn't an antagonist. We have this plot with the Black Guardian trying to kill the Doctor, but it's secondary. The main
and
story
Turlo with the world's biggest rock.
Yeah. There's just this story is a mystery about what the fuck these people are, what happened to them, and how did is there anything to do?
Yeah. One thing I kind of was not sold on was the fact that the Brig would be a school teacher at all. It just doesn't seem like it fits him as a math teacher or anything like that. And I mean, how do you feel about
the math is a bit weird. I like his explanation of the Doctor because the Doctor's like math, and he's like, you don't have to understand time travel to be able to teach series 4 math. Like, I feel like the Brig is even like, yeah, my math skills aren't great, but I can teach this because it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, originally the idea was to bring back Ian, which is why it was set in a school. And
especially at like a boys' academy like this, I feel like there is a lot of justification for the Brig to go there. Like that's remember the 10th Doctor story where he forgets the family where he's at the military
I hate that
academy?
one. Yes.
Yeah, I know you hate that one, but that's what British schools were like.
Well, yeah, I know, like but I mean that was like pre-World War I. This is the 80s,
Yeah, I mean, where else would the Brig go? Would he just retire and do nothing? I don't think he would do that either.
Well, you know what? I don't know either. I mean, I guess not, but it's just I don't know. I mean, knowing that it was supposed to be Ian, like I can't watch the story without thinking, oh, that makes more sense. But William Russell wasn't available, so they got the Brig instead. They apparently they also considered bringing back Harry Sullivan, and
but
I feel like no one cares about Harry Sullivan. Really.
No, I barely remember Harry Sullivan. Like I remember him, but
he's an imbecile.
It's funny too because as soon as you said that, I'm like, the 1983 Briggs outfit that looks like something Ian would wear.
Kinda, yeah. But I mean, it's a very teacherly outfit, so really, I mean, it's. But I like Turlo. Turlo is actually like the last male companion in the classic series, which is kind of interesting.
Well, then it would stay that way until Rory shows up.
Well, I mean, unless you want to count Captain Jack or Mickey or
I would count Captain Jack over Mickey. They're so temporary.
Yeah. They are. So, but look, I always liked the male companion dynamic, and I think it's too bad that the latter parts of the classic series, as well as most of the new series, has kind of like ignored that in favor of having a single female.
Maybe we'll get some of that back with Jodie Whittaker and Bill, because it's not there's none of that aspect. Well, no, never mind. Bill's
cybertized or something.
Bill. I don't know. Bill's a lesbian.
Oh, right. Yes.
So
I hear she likes to remind people of that fact all the time.
Maybe it's 2 episodes with her, so I know nothing.
What's actually one of the things that bothers me about Lizard Lady and Jenny the Tits, because it's always like, have I mentioned that I'm married to her and also I'm a lizard woman? I'm like, you're in Victorian London. How the fuck have you not been lynched yet? Like they're just so obvious with it, and they keep hammering on it over and over again. It's like you keep some of this on the down low. I like Strax.
I like those characters, but no, I like Jenny and I like the whole Sherlock Holmes and Watson thing. Like I think it's fun and a bit silly, but logistically it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I have no problem.
It doesn't.
But I like
it's like
characters.
Okay, like I could buy like the lizard woman aspect of it, because the Victorian times they had all kinds of like freak shows and weird like stage shows and stuff. So the idea that there was that she could be written off as a freak, okay. But when she keeps rubbing it in people's faces in Victorian times that, like, yes, I'm fucking this other woman, it's like, how are you not getting into trouble? Like, I don't know. And the other part of me, too, is because I'm a classic series curmudgeon. Every time I'm watching this, I'm like, Diego and Lightfoot. And of course,
shut up. We're getting a. Eventually, we'll hit that
yeah,
Jiggo Lightfoot.
we will. That sweet spinoff. But the other thing too is, like, I just didn't like in season 6 how her and, like, the fat blue guy and Strax all turn up and they're like, remember these guys? And I'm like, no, you didn't introduce these characters. You can't just have them turn up. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah,
so I like Turlo, and Turlo is the last boy.
Turlo is last boy. Got it.
Turlo's last boy. I also really liked the scene when the doctor's going to go sacrifice himself, and Tegan just kind of says thank you to him, which I thought was a really standout scene for Tegan, especially on TV, because she's usually written as such a bitch.
Yeah, but no, she's great in this story.
Yes,
Like,
and like for once, her pissy attitude is, like, you know, put to good use, where she's like, I don't think this is the doctor, guys. Like, this seems a bit fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty good story, and it's packed with a lot of good ideas and interesting uses of time and continuity and character. Like, I thought they did a really good job of utilizing a lot of different tools and combining them together. And this was written by Peter Grimwade, who is usually a director on the show. And this is the second script that he wrote for the show. The first one was Time Flight, which was fuck awful. But you can kind of see.
This story, and I meant to say it earlier, this story totally felt like it. I was, when I was waiting for you, because you woke up a little late this morning.
Yes.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like, you know, I mean, this is Mawdryn Undead's way better, but I recently saw Justice League, and I was like, man, this feels like a movie that was cobbled together. And this story almost feels cobbled, like there's so many disparate elements. It feels like a lot of stuff kind of just taped on, but it made a much more satisfying package. I felt like this felt like it went through some rewrites.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing too is, I was like, you can totally see elements of Time Flight in this, with, like, the dual time periods and you know, big booming bad guys with the Master and Black Guardian and stuff. So, but, like, all of this works so much better here than it did in Time Flight. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Man, Time Flight is bad.
Yes, it is.
There was giant pieces of poop.
So what's up next, Kate?
Oh my gosh, what is up next? Let me scroll through my fucking document and tell you. Right, so next week we have a short trip called Gardens of the Dead. You know, we've had a lot of dead lately. There was King of the Dead, Mawdryn Undead, Gardens of the Dead. Yeah. Well, anyway, Gardens of the Dead, short trip, and also we have Terminus on television, which is part 2 of the Black Guardian trilogy. And since we were off last week, the latest early adventure has been released, which is the Morton Legacy.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. Oh, also the David Tennant, Billy Piper episodes of audios have come out, but I don't have them because I'm poor.
That's fine. We'll get to. We have so many so much Eighth Doctor shit to get through. We don't have to worry about the new Who stuff for a long time.
Nope.
So
anyway.
Alrighty then. Yes, we will be back with that next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.